Hello, everybody. This is Love from Above by your Sibling Spirit Guides. I'm Maureen, and this is my brother.
Hey, Maureen. Hey, everyone. This is Brian.
Hello, Brian. We're so happy to be here. If you can believe it, on this podcast, we share daily channelings we receive from star beings, ascended masters, mythical beings who really exist, and occasionally our ancestors. And today, Brian's taken our archives and come up with a number of podcasts that relate to architectural portals and heavenly spires. This episode explores how physical structures, both ancient and modern, serve as antennas, conduits for higher vibrations, including how spires act as antennas, examples in Islamic architecture, and how church steeples are designed to reach the heavens. Brian, it makes sense, right?
Totally does. Yeah, it does. When you look at that, that totally makes sense. Nothing never really came to mind, but yeah, it's good information.
Yeah. So the first one is on Islamic architecture, which, I don't think a lot of people in the United States have had the opportunity to go into a mosque, but they are stunning with regards to the art because, of course, their belief is that the Muhammad cannot be depicted in artistic form. And so sacred geometry abounds in these mosques. So, do you want to kick us off with the first one from January 22nd, 2024?
Sure. Dearest one, we wish to communicate this time. We're the ones who are come to be known as aura. We indeed do not notice your repetition with numeric equations, which we dearly love. We ask that you examine the repetitive patterns in the Islamic architecture that are so readily nearby. And it says, note, you were in Bahrain the Bahrain at the time. These indeed are wondrous displays of Islamic architecture which can represent the unified whole. One being does indeed brush against another. This friction can multiply the magnificence of each unique species. Our hearts are open to all who seek the true light of the one creator. We should you wish to share these messages in a podcast or in a direct manner with a friend or family member, we would be most welcome to be enveloped into an extended circle of your love and light. How about that? And we're doing that.
Yeah, who doesn't want to be in an extended circle of love or light? Sign me up for
Right.
that. But I got to tell you, Brian, the first time I went into an Islam, I saw like this sacred geometry in Islamic month. It was literally like an Oprah aha moment because, I see sacred geometry. I don't know what to call it, but I call it the planes of sacred geometry. And these sacred geometry planes move all the time. They can move in or out or from the left to the right, and they're just gorgeous. And, I walk into my first mosque, or not even in a mosque. I mean, it's everywhere. I mean, that's the pattern for this culture. And there's a sacred geometry, and it's exactly what I see. And I'm like, oh my God. I felt like this bond, like someone else sees what I see. Because, for so long in my life, I felt like, oh my gosh, an outlier, like, my experiences are certainly not usually the shared experiences of the culture. But yeah, it's so beautiful. It's really, these repetitive patterns are so beautiful. And I'm going to tell you, everyone, you are living in a repetitive pattern. You emit sacred geometry and you live amidst sacred geometry, even though you can't see it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what we've heard. But yeah, I know you see it all the time. But I know I've been in a mosque, but I can't really think of, I know what sacred geometry looks like, but yeah, it's definitely interesting.
Yeah, maybe today I'll post something on Twitter of some of the beautiful sacred geometry sites from some of the mosques that I've been to because it is just It's really stunning, and it like will put you in a trance if you look at it for so long, or if you would choose to meditate on it. And yeah, it's definitely expressing a greater truth that exists in the universe that's unspoken, that's unrealized, but it is a greater truth because we are all surrounded by greater by the sacred geometry. So I'll go on to the next one, which is November 11th, 2023, Spires as antennas. This describes how church spires act as antennas to bring forth vibrations that please the higher realms. I mean, Brian, that just makes sense, right? They
Totally.
say we are beings who wish to present ourselves at this location. We urge all of humanity to heed our call. We come to you as bearer of good news. We have watched over humankind since the millennia. We see that much has improved, and we're grateful to acknowledge the progress within the human species. We are a race of otherworldly beings who hail from a distant star far outside the realm of your galaxy. We periodically come to mine the ores that lie deep within your native oceans. These ores fuel our societies, and we're grateful for the permits which grant us access to these healing waters. Okay, Brent, I've got to stop right there. We just had another podcast that we recorded this month where they talked about accessing the ores and permission. What's going on here, Brian?
Yeah, I know. It's interesting how other beings come to the earth for our minerals and things like that in the bottom of the ocean, and are, they need it for fuel for their existence or something. So it's really interesting.
Yeah, and what fuel is it? We're so focused on petrol. What fuel is it? And who is providing the permits and the access for that? I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. But anyway, I'll go on. They say we call upon humanity to join with us as we link up with our brethren in the highest realms, which are accessible at this point. To imagine a spire of one of your churches, an antenna that will bring forth the vibrations that shall please some unknown words. We wish to refrain from further discussion. At this time, we shall continue to monitor these conversations, and we are the beings who intercepted this vessel. Okay, so then I've got to tell you what happened. At this time, I was I was on an Antarctic cruise. I was in Antarctica, and I woke up in the middle of the night and I saw that the entire ship, this is going to sound crazy, but I'm telling you this was true, had been transported onto like a starship. And I was like, what the heck is going on, people? So anyway, they said that they are the ones that, took the entire cruise ship up on the spaceship. They said, our work is for the good and the good for our good and the good of all. We noticed you observe our presence, which is so funny because there's a lot of times like I'll wake up and I'll see some being and they notice that I see them. And sometimes nothing happens. They'll continue working on them. And then sometimes they're like, oops, gotta go. Who knows? But they said, we wish to come again and continue our exploration of the human species. Brian, what the heck happened in Antarctica? Who knows?
Yeah, so that's interesting. Like, what were they doing? The whole vessel.
The
It's
whole thing, the whole thing. I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm like, oh my God, what is going on here? And I, honestly, there's a lot of times I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm on a starship, and usually it's not just me, like there's many, 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 many people, and I'm being worked on. Who knows what the heck is going on? But yeah, I mean, we did a podcast last week on which check out on the Galactic Federation, but as we have always said, you don't need to look out, you don't need to watch a movie about ET or Contact or, there it's right here. It might, right, Brian?
yeah, totally. That's sweet. Yeah. we've heard a lot of messages about this, and that's so true. I know we mentioned in the past where they said they call our Earth a blue planet, but then they're joking that you can't really call it that anymore because you can't see the blue planet because there's so many spaceships surrounding Earth at this time. So yeah, there's so many messages about this, but yeah, it's very interesting. All right, so I'll go on the next one from January 3rd of 2025, Sagrada Familia. So this is a discussion on the that's famous cathedral in Barcelona, and about the tremendous physical superior structure and the vision enacted into perfection. So it says, "We are here, little one. Oh, how we admire your tenacity for paving the road for others to reunify with their divine selves. What we notice is that the honor of being an enlightened one is far from glorification. Oh, how we long for the days when the true nature of the natural self will be celebrated. We wish to inform and enlighten those with cautious hearing of the calming of the way. The way has been prescribed as the circumstantial evidence of the altered self. For when you discard the lower astral self, you are unbirthed, untethered, and free. Who would all cherish such a stupendous fate? So let me pause there. So what do you think of that? It's say letting go of like the lower self, and I know we've read a lot about this, but what's your thoughts on that?
I think of both Christianity and Buddhism. So I think of Christianity where you can be reborn. So that would be the untethered, unbirthed, and free. And then I think of Buddhism where you, like, find the peace within so that, you're not disturbed by the exterior world. So it's the same thing. You're discarding the lower astral self. So it's just interesting, like these major religions have different ways of teaching this, but you know, and I think honestly, this is the purpose of the human experience to go through the challenges. And also you learn through, blessings. You learn from blessings, 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 blessings. So all of these gifts that are put into your life are an opportunity to rise above because that's what they say, like you don't want to you don't want to be responding to a high or a low. You want to be steady so that it doesn't matter what's going on in the external world, like you are a steady ever lit flame of divine light,
Yeah,
right?
right. And you don't react to it. Yeah, exactly.
Right. And so that's what they say too. Like, if you have something amazing happen, you find the love of your life, you're bequeathed $1 million, whatever. I mean, it's it's also to stay steady in those presences too, because that can be equally as reactive as a death of your beloved pet, or you want to be non-reactive to the external forces and know that you are the eternally lit divine flame of the one creator. And I don't know, maybe other people, that's how I say it. Maybe other people say their expression of God or Jesus Christ, or supplant whatever you want for your own religious beliefs. But yeah, that makes total sense to me.
Yeah, I totally agree. And then they go on to say, we see that you're about to travel to Europe, and we see you plan to visit the Sagrada Familia. But isn't it cool they can obviously read your mind, know exactly what's happening, what your plans are? The Sagrada Familia offers an opportunity to view one vision enacted into perfection. This is why your artists are celebrated when they can finish a delicate piece and bring it within the public eye for others to admire. This singular vision, pursued over multiple period of your time, sharpens and hones the singularity nature of its focus. This allows others to be able to easily perceive what was originally intended by the self-described artist. You shall see and wonder as the building is glorified, and rightly so. So, yeah, and then we've both been there. It's amazing place. I just think I heard that it was finally completely finished. I don't know if that's true. Someone told me that, but anyway, what are your thoughts on I mean that it was hundreds or no, it was yeah, over 100 years, right? It's been worked on.
Yeah, I love this because we've all, so many artists, whether they're visual artists or entertainment artists or singers or movie stars, they're really celebrated in our culture. And you think about that opportunity to view one vision and act it into perfection. And I think about the Sagrada Familia, and so many artisans have worked on this. And you could say the same about like maybe a Hollywood movie that's touched many people's lives. So many people work on it, or a musical piece. So many people have worked on it. And, what makes this building unique is, like you said, I mean, it's over 100 years, over 100 years that it's been worked upon, and it is a cherished part of Spanish culture, and it's a treasure to Spain. And yeah, I mean, we were both recently there, and I don't know about you, but here's my thing that I do with a, really important site like there is I am the first one through the door. First one, because you'll have less crowds. But yeah, so, it was really a powerful moment for me to be the first one through the crowd, and, and have it. I mean, there were still people there, but it's not as crowded. By the time I left, so I think I had a 9 a.m. entrance. By the time I left at like 10:30, it was pretty packed. So yeah, and it's inspiration for us all.
Yeah, and I just did fact check myself. It said so that it was yeah, the tallest tower was finished, but the entire basilica is not fully complete, won't be until roughly 2034. So again, it continues. But yeah, it's an amazing place to go to and, and just both inside and outside. It's just so amazing.
And this time when I went to Barcelona, I did the whole tour. What was the name of the artist who created that? I can't remember his name.
Yeah. Gaudi,
Yeah, I went to all of his buildings, and
right?
what vision, I mean, you think you're living in your square box home. Like he's like, I'm gonna put, a door that like kind of curves on one side, and I'm gonna put windows that, look like it's amazing. Things that you take for granted. And that's the gift of artists. Things that you take for granted, like a door, a window, like he's totally changed them. And wow, really, what a gift, what a gift. So I'll go into the next one, which is more incendiary structures, church steeples, flagpole structures designed to pierce the heavens to attain glory. This is from January 14th, 2026. Darling, when we come forward as bearers of sunshine and clouds, we represent the shadowy forces that accumulate within the halls of your governments. Okay, what does that mean? We are likened to insects that are rarely seen or noticed, but are occupied with their unified chores. We speak as to the greater cause and effect of these disturbing circumstances now. Rest your eyes. Many are fearful of great calamity in the future. They look outside and fail to notice the bright blue sunny day. They fail to know the warmth of their surroundings, the love that exists within. All walls are built as divisions and supports. Remember this as you move forward. The walls that hold you in can easily be surmounted. Sometimes it's not possible to have an exodus, but you may glimpse the truth through portals of your windows and doorways. Now is the time when humans like to look outside and see the warmth that they've created. We say this is not enough. Put on your cloaks and tarry no further. The atmosphere of being outside is totally different from those of your secluded dwellings. Put your blinders on and focus on what matters, ignoring the trivial news of the day. We shall see that many surmount tremendous obstacles to come to the glory of the one and the all. These feats are wondrous to behold and can easily be repeatable by others. Okay, I'm going to pause there. I mean, there's a lot in there, brother. What sticks out for me is that they're like insects, the shadowy forces within our halls of our government. And yeah, it is true. Like so many people are focused on doom and gloom, but look outside, people. Like it's a sunny day, or, you've got your grandchild coming over to visit, or I don't know, there's some other bright spot in the day. What speaks to you?
Yeah, I like it. You know, it's a time for humans to go outside and seek the warmth that they've created. But yeah, I like that enough messing around here. Just, don't linger and, you know, enjoy life more is what I get out of it, right? Is that what it's saying? It's more focusing on, you know, enjoying yourself and enjoying the day and not just worrying about stuff, right?
All right. Don't tarry, Brian. Don't tarry.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't look that up. I didn't like Terry, Tarry. Like, what is that? That's what we talked about, I think, last week, that sometimes the language that comes through is sort of interesting. So,
Yeah. Okay, they say we look at the steeples of your churches, which pierce the heavens, the flagpoles, which carry the mascots of your nations. These incendiary structures are symbols of the piercing of the unified clouds to attain the everlasting glory of unification with the one and the all. What is your mascot that you send up as a guide, an inspiration for you or others? Does your smile belie a frown within your heart? Are you truly aligned with the focused nature of the one, the all? To rectify matters that are unseen, a first step is to peer outside. Yet many remain inwardly gleaming at their cellular devices. The forecasts on your phones are rarely accurate. Why use these prognostications when your own attitude is the barometer of the day? We say go forward with the ever-present love and light of the one and all. Okay, so I'm just going to stop there. Brian, and pause there because there's a lot more. This is a long one. But it is true. Like, you think about so many prognostications, whether it be the weather, political forecast, or the stock markets, doomed. And it doesn't come to pass as has been predicted, right?
yeah, and I mean, don't use their prognostications when your own attitude is a barometer of the day. I mean, it's like your own mindset. If you have a positive mindset and good things will happen. And if you're doom and gloom, then that's what's going to happen. So I totally agree with that statement.
Yeah. And so what would be your mascot, Brian? That's an interesting to think about, what I don't know. I don't know what my mascot is, but I'm gonna have to think about it. Can you think about something that would be your mascot for the day?
Yeah, I don't know. I was thinking that when you mentioned that too, and I don't know, but I'll have to ponder that as well.
Okay, so then they go on and they say we wish to correct previous misstatements. We are not to be mistaken with insignificant beings that dwell within your cabinets, houses, and trees. We are developing a persona to be utilized by humans to recognize a greater signature call. We realize we misspoke in our introduction. Yeah, I thought they were like little insects. We are healing frequencies to correct these misperceptions. And then I heard in my mind that they are saying that this communication is outside of what they normally do. They said, we normally do not discuss matters with your kind. Seek alternative information, and your readily available posture invites many to adapt to these structures and codes. You have no idea what we mean, but there are many embedded in this, many messages for others to understand. So we get this again, Brian. Like, I don't understand what that means, Seek alternative information, and your readily available posture invites many to adapt to these structures and codes. But and apparently that's a message for somebody else. So, yeah, do you want to go on with the next part? Because then next I switch and I start to channel an angel.
Yeah. But yeah, just on the last part, you're right. It is like so many times we've got this where, oh, we don't really understand what they're saying. They're like, well, don't worry about it. It's not for you. It's for another. So anyway, glad to be transmitting these messages to whoever is picking up on them. But anyway, it goes, hello, it is I. I'm an angel of light, angel of heavenly light. I concourse, swoop through the skies of your dwellings and look for those ready to embed it in their signature, a new purpose of light. We provide these examples now so humans understand that a single source is limiting the creator imbued in your receptacles to hold vast quantities of light. You are not meant to be torchbearers, but candelabras. We embedded in the one known as Marine additional light sources behind her eyes, beneath her feet, in her palms, and her belly button. These will assist in the glory of the coming days. The brother shall equally receive his measure at the appropriate time. We receive now, another comes forward. So again, I can tell you, I'm not aware. I'm thankful for this and everything, but did you aware that now you have these additional light sources?
No, but I love this concept that you're not a torchbearer. And so many times I do so many day meditations about bringing in the light, and I just imagine, a single source of light. But I've got to adapt that to the candelabra. Like I love the candelabra,
Yeah,
let me have a candelabra, not and it's the same thing like what I always tell everybody. You don't have one guide. No, 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 no. You don't have one guide. You got your posse, your army, your whole support structure, and so it makes sense that, yeah, you don't have one little light, you've got your candelabra. Light it all up, baby, light it all up. So that's what I say.
yeah, yeah. Uh, so yeah, this is interesting. One transmission, Maureen, you had three different entities come through.
Yeah, because now it goes on to another, who knows who these next people are, but anyway, do you want to go into the next beings who
Yeah,
come
it goes and says, study the breath, the magnitude, the one, the all. Say you were living beneath a mountain, your glimpse of the light would be a sliver that entered your cave only at dawn and dusk, for that was an angle of the trajectory of your opening light that was semi-diurnal, which means occurring twice a day. It's like a binomial occurrence when the light indeed shines brighter outside the vast equanimity of your days. Why not dwell and bathe in the light always? Humans, crawl out of your dwellings and praise the glory of the one and all. Bathe in the light as those before you have never done. These occurrences can be frequently held for the ones known as the torchbearers of the light of the all. Meditations offer a similar glimpse of this rarely seen light. Why humans exist in the darkness of the day when only the light provides the true satisfaction. Our words are always true and can be trusted. We work with the governments now, both real and imagined, and work to curb the centering nature of your political and government structures. These changes shall be the changes we propose, which will most likely be ignored, but we persist with the hope of a brighter future. We thank you for your participation in this daily exercise. So there's a lot to unpack there. What all about bathing the light is, of course, amazing. But I know we've mentioned this in the past that there's like a true government or people that are really in charge, and then, a figurative government, but it says, yeah, they're trying to work with both real and imagined to curb the centering nature. But again, it says it most likely will be ignored. But anyway, what's your biggest takeaway from this message?
You know what? It's honestly, it's personal, Brian, but anyone who doubts that I channel these messages, I mean, look at the language of this. Would I ever say semi-diurnal instead of twice a day? I can't even say that word. I can't even say that word. It's like a binomial occurrence. Like, it's like this is not how I speak, people. It just really proves to me, and that this is channeled because I mean, these words are not even. I can't even pronounce these words.
Yeah, yeah. I know we do
Uh,
have a lot of problems with it that they get very complex words that are just hard to understand or hard to even pronounce. So yeah, that's a common issue we have.
yeah, and you brought this up on a past podcast. Like, where are they getting their language base from? Like, I don't know. Are they searching an entire language base? Because this is a common problem that we run into, and that I'm just saying, please, can I have simpler words? Please, 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 because. And the problem that I run into is, especially if it's a word that's not on my vocabulary, like I don't even recognize it. But yeah, I love the part about the government, both real and imagined. So they're working with the governments, both real and imagined. And I love this analogy of, and to me, it applies again personally. So I do meditation in the morning and the night. And that's like being in the cave, and accessing the light twice a day, which is great. I am accessing the light. I'm not shutting myself out to it. But yeah, let's bring in that light and have it come forth and bathe me all day long.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So I'll give up the closing, which is just a short reminder. It says, remember to swim in the seas, gaze at the stars, run through your life with joy and a pleasurable attitude. Amen.
That says it all.
Yeah. So thank you, everybody, for listening. Brian, do you want to talk about what's on our next podcast?
Yeah, so our next podcast is around sacred anatomy. So I know we've covered some things about anatomy, but where else we'll get into other things about, the different anatomy and actually how there is the power of entry points with that anatomy. So that's be in our next episode.
Okay. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, everybody, for listening.
Bye, everyone.